So, students, welcome back after some great time. So, we will be seeing the community English and nuclear chemistry. In this session, we are going to see the applications of radioactivity, and that depends on the rates of the radioactive decay. What is meant by a decay? A decay is something which decomposes. So that decomposes. Okay. What you say in Tamil, you call it as the Kedtal or Ajugia, that is decay, it decomposes. So when you leave a body without any attention and care, it decomposes. There are several bacteria inside the body that react with it, and they have their own products, and it's also called as the putrefaction in biological terms. Okay. So because the different radioactive nuclides have different stabilities, which means that some radioactive items may last for a long time and some may last for a short time, and that is what we call it as the rates. Okay. So rate is something which varies. Okay, I think you know about the rates. You know what we call rate is varying because the rate of the petrol in Pondicherry is different from the rate of petrol in Bangalore, and the rate of petrol in Chennai is different. So petrol is the petrol and import is the same, but the rate is varying. So if there is anything like price that is different, price is different. It doesn't vary. It doesn't vary, but rates is varying. So that is why they have put that the nuclei, different nucleides, different periodic table elements, they keep varying. Or we can understand rate as better, rate of change of velocity. So when you leave a city, there is more traffic, your rate of travel is very slow. And as soon as you come to the highway, your rate increases. There is nobody, and you go very speed. The rate increases. So at the end, you just calculate the average speed only. Suppose if you are inside the city, you go at 40 kmph and you travel for 1 hour, and in the highway you go at 80 kmph and you travel for 1 hour. So should be divided by 40 plus 80 is 120, 120 by 2, because this is 1 hour, this is another hour. 120 by 2 by 60 is there. So 60 is the average speed there. Okay, so that is how we call it is the rate. So one atom is decomposing very fast, that other one is not decomposing. That is what we call it as the nucleide. A nucleide is nothing but it is also an atom, but it decays. What is meant by decay? It gets destroyed. Damage ஆயிடுது, destroy ஆயிடுது, அழுகாயிடுது. அழுக்கு ஆயிடுது இல்லையா, அழுக்கு சொல்றாங்க இல்லையா. Then that is what, how much time it takes to get reduced to half the original value. Suppose if you place 40 grams on the table, over a period of 2 hours it decays to 20 grams, and over a period of another 2 hours it decays to 10 grams, and in a period of another 2 hours it decays to 5 grams. So every time it is getting to half the values. What is half the value? 40 grams becomes 20, 20 becomes 10, 10 becomes 5, 5 may become 2.5. So every time it gets to the half, that is what we call as the one half of the original sample. So this is what we call in chemistry as the half-life period. For example, radioactive carbon. It's very important here that radioactive carbon 14. Carbon 14 means, it's carbon 12 is the normal molecule, carbon 14 is the radioactive, because we are adding two neutrons there, which decays to form nitrogen 14. What is it? Carbon 14 is going to become nitrogen 14. Okay, with the emission of a positron particle, by emitting a beta particle or positron particle, has a half-life period of 5730 years. That is, after 5730 years, one half of the sample remains. Half the maturity. Remnant எவ்வளவு இருக்குது? Only one half. That is 40 grams in the 40 grams of carbon. Suppose if you take 40 grams of carbon, after 5730 years, it becomes 20 gram of carbon. It becomes 20 gram of carbon. And then put some more. After 5730 years, it becomes 10 grams. And then put some more. After 730 years, it becomes 5 grams. So that is a property, that is an inherent nuclear property, and doesn't change for a particular atom. So that is what is being there. 1140 years, 2 half-lives, and then another 22,920 years, it becomes 1 half further. So here he is trying to calculate the, after 790 years, 3 half-lives, half of what remained after 1146 years will decay to form nitrogen 14. So the 1/8 of the original sample will remain. What has happened to half? What has happened to the half? It has been converted into some atoms like nitrogen. So carbon 14 is converted into nitrogen 14. Okay. So 1/8 of the original sample will remain. This continues with one of the sample decaying and each half-life. Okay. So that is beautifully represented by the graph here. So remember, in your higher studies, graphs are very, very important there. So you can see that graphs are very good representation of many great data. So here you can see percentage of radioactive nuclear remaining. Percentage. What is it? Here it is 100%. You begin with 100%, and then you go down to 90%, and then you go down to 80% of the remaining, and then you go down to 50% of the remaining. So here it is given there, 25% of the remaining. But what is happening to this half-life there? 3.125% remaining after 5 half-lives. It just added. So the sample is getting decreased. If you get an arrow like this, it just mentions that decreasing. So if this is the case of the carbon 14, it has been decreased. 40 grams has become 20 gram. It has become 10 grams. So what has happened to these 20 grams? It has become nitrogen 14. So it has become nitrogen 14. Okay. So this is a very, very steep curve, and it goes like this. So it represents that 50% has gone, 35% is remaining, 12.5% remaining, 6.25% remaining, then 3.6% remaining. It goes like this. So it still persists in about 0.0025%. So it can go on. It will never touch the line there. Okay. So let us have a look into the different nucleides, the properties that I was telling. I'm going to tell a few examples there. So here is rubidium, and here it is thorium, here it is uranium, here also it is uranium, but here it is 238, it is 235, plutonium, okay, carbon, radium. நாங்கெல்லாம் சொல்றீங்க ரேடியம் வாட்ச்னு சொல்லி அது தப்பு. It is a different kind of fluorescent material, but radium is highly radioactive. Cesium, strontium, hydrogen, and then cobalt. This is some of the elements that are there. So what is given there in the next part of the table is half-life is 5.7 into 10 power 10 years. That is, if you have 50 grams, after 5.7 into 10 power 10 years, it will become 25 grams. Okay, let us look into the very small life. So here it is cesium, 30 years. Okay, if you have 100 grams of cesium, 100 grams of cesium, this one, okay, after 30 years, it will become 50 gram. Okay, and then after another 30 years, it will become 25 grams. And then that 25 grams after 30 years will become 12.5 grams. So like that it goes on decreasing. But what is it is emitting the beta particle. And then what it gives carbon 11. Carbon 11 is also another isotope. Carbon 12 is the next isotope, the original element. Okay, why do we rate 12 like this? Carbon 12 means, it has got 6 protons, and this 12 is equal to 6 proton plus 6 neutrons. That is what we put 12. So if it is 11 means something is missing. 12 minus 1 is the 1 proton or 1 neutron is missing. That is why it is radioactive. Then what is happening to this cesium? Cesium is becoming carbon 11, and within 20.4 minutes it emits another positron and becomes carbon 12. Okay, the same thing is there with hydrogen. Hydrogen is 3 means it is tritium. Okay, tritium after 12.26 years emits a beta particle and becomes some other element, for example hydrogen. So this is a different thing as another element, like you can see hydrogen 1. Okay, so I can even take iodine. Iodine 131. Its lot amount is present in salt. Within 8.06 days, it emits a beta particle and becomes iodine 130. So this all is the half-life. This is also half-life. This is one series of half-life. Here it takes about 10 power 10, 10 power 9 years. Here it takes just 14 days, 11 days. And even some fluorine 17, it takes within 66 seconds. It becomes half the original value. 100 கிராம் வச்சுட்டு 66 செகண்டில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 50 கிராம் ஆகிடும். இன்னொரு 66 செகண்ட் போனீங்கன்னா 25 கிராம் ஆகிடும். So that is very highly radioactive. So it emits positron. Somewhere, these emitters, alpha emitters, are very dangerous. And even these are all very, very reactive, and therefore that is why thorium, uranium are highly reactive elements, are not available anywhere and only used in the nuclear reactors with the great safety measures. Otherwise, it will become radioactive and it will emit radiations which are very harmful. These radiations have the capability of affecting the genes inside the human body. That is, they can affect the DNA and they can affect the. So you can take the case of the gamma radiations. Gamma radiations can affect the gene damage, and it can affect the particularly p53 gene, which is responsible for causing cancer in the human beings. This is the only gene that has the capacity to multiply the cells. So if that is damaged either by some electromagnetic radiation or gamma radiation, it becomes very radioactive. Okay. So look at the example there that I am just showing you. Radon 222. It will be written like this, Rn 222, because it is having 111 protons plus 100, which is found in the air inside houses built over soil containing uranium. Okay, that's just not everywhere, but in some places where you got uranium, particularly in Bihar and the beaches of the Bihar and Orissa, they are very rich in uranium ores. They don't exist like separate uranium; they exist like uranium ores, which has a half-life of about 3.82 days. That means in 3.82 days, half the product decays, half the product gets disappeared, or is getting converted into some other. How long is before a sample decreased to 1 by 32 of the original? That is, 1 by 2, it becomes 1 by 4, it becomes 1 by 8, it becomes 1 by 16, and it becomes 1 by 32. Okay, so first half comes into 3.82 days. plus another 3.82 days, plus another 3.82 days, plus another 3.82 days, plus another 3.82 days. So that will be put together to the about 19.1 days. Okay, 1 by 32 32ல ஒரு பங்கு தான் இருக்கு. That is 32 grams you are taking, 32 grams of radon you are taking, you are getting only 1 gram, and the half-life period is 3.82 means you have to put it like this, and then that is what 5 into 3.82 is what I have written here. So the sample to become 1 by 32th of the uh, original amount, it takes about 5 half-lives. Okay, so that 5 half-life is being mentioned here. 5 half-lives. Okay, so let us go to the next part of the class, that is its medical applications. Okay. Cobalt 60 emits ionizing radiations in the form of beta particles and gamma photons. Beta particle and gamma photons. You last saw in the section that the gamma photons which penetrate the body. What is I am underlining is very important for you. You have to remember. It damages the tissues. Okay, it damages the tissues actually, and do more to rapidly reproducing cells than to the others. Reproducing cells means there are cells in, as a biochemist, which cells reproduce and which cells do not, and which cells stop production. Okay, this characteristic coupled with the fact that cancer cells are reproduced very rapidly underlies the strategy of using radiation to treat cancer. That is, it can damage the tissue. Cobalt 60 can damage the tissue, so you can find out which place there is reproduction taking place, and then put this cobalt 60 directly onto this reproducing cells and convert it into and stop its multiplication. Okay, typically a focused beam of gamma radiation, gamma photons from cobalt 60 is directed to a cancerous tumor. What is it? Cobalt 60, very important point for you to remember. Cobalt 60 is used is a beam na or torch போடுறீங்களா beam, laser beam அந்த மாதிரி சொல்றீங்க இல்லையா. Cobalt beam is directed towards the cancerous tumor, and the ions and free radicals that the gamma photons produce inside the tumor damage its cells and cause the tumor to shrink. Very essential point there. Like many other radioactive nucleides in medicine, cobalt 60 is made by bombarding atoms of the another elements. In this case, it is iron. Okay, what you do with iron is bombarded with a fast neutron. This is neutron, and you get 59 Fe. This is an isotope of iron. This is an isotope of iron, and then this isotope of iron is being is getting decayed to 59 cobalt plus 1 positron plus 1 beta particle. This is positron or beta particle. This is an electron. This is an electron. Okay, then again this 59 CO, again you bombard it with a neutron, you get a cobalt 60. That cobalt 60 is what you are using here, right? So one of the most significant advances in medicine in recent years is the development of computer imaging technique. One such thing that relies on characteristic nuclei is called as the magnetic resonance imaging. MRI scan அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க இல்லையா, we call it as the MRI scan. It is actually nuclear magnetic resonance. NMRI தான் அது actually. Nuclear radioactive nuclide இருந்தால் தான் பண்ண முடியும், இல்லைன்னா பண்ண முடியாது. பட் நியூக்ளியர்னா ஒரு மாதிரி இருக்குதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு அது என்ன பண்ணுன்னா ஒன்லி MRI அப்படின்னு சொல்லி சொல்றோம். Okay, so nuclear magnetic resonance, the patient is placed in a strong magnetic field and exposed to radio wave radiation. Radio wave radiation is an important point. This is an important point there, which is absorbed and re-emitted in different tissues of the body. Computer analysis of the re-emitted radiation gives an image of the tissue of the body. Okay, so a simplified description of how the MRI works begins with the fact that protons act like tiny magnets. Protons act. So this is a description. proton na taniya. When patients are put in strong magnetic field, the proton magnets in the hydrogen atoms in the bodies line up either with or against the field, right? For example, if there is a magnetic field like this, okay, magnetic field, so that is the proton magnetic field. If you are also having the uh, we are also having so many electrons and so many protons like that, okay. And there is one possibility, that there are two possibilities there. These particles can align with the body or against the body. இப்போ ஒரு மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டு இப்படி இருந்ததுன்னா ஒன்று இப்படி போகணும் இல்லைன்னா இப்படி வரணும். ஸோ தட் இஸ் வாட் எய்தர் லைன் அப் எய்தர் வித் அப்படின்னா இது, அகேன்ஸ்ட் அப்படின்னா with or against the body, and then is called as parallel and anti-parallel respectively. The anti-parallel element is slightly higher energy than the parallel position, and the energy difference is equivalent to the energy of the photons in the radiant range and the radiant energy spectrum. So you do not bother about this, but you find out this. As a result, the radio waves are directed at the patient. They are absorbed by the protons in parallel orientation and excite the protons in the anti-parallel orientation. So two possibilities you are getting. One is absorbed and the other one is excited, okay. So the absorbed thing is this one, and with the magnetic field. Excited means this one, against the magnetic field. So as the proton return to more stable parallel orientation, they emit energy, very important point there, which can be detected by scan placed on the patient's body. So that is how proton parallel to the field plus absorbed energy gives proton plus anti-parallel field, proton anti-parallel to the field, proton parallel to the field plus emitted energy. This is what is being described there. Okay, so now come to the last part of the session there. Because of the soft tissues of the body contains lot of water, because the soft tissues of the body contain lot of water, நிறைய தண்ணி இருக்கும் tissuesல, with lot of hydrogen atoms. Bones do not, bonesல இருக்கிறதுல. MRI process is especially useful for creating images of the soft tissues of the body, right? So soft tissues absorb, because they absorb it, they are able to see a different image, okay, soft tissues. Hydrogen atoms absorb and re-emit radio waves, photons in different ways depending on their molecular environment. So a computer analysis of the data leads to detailed image of the soft tissues. Okay, this is another application called as the positron emission tomography, which is another computer diagnostic technique. In this technique, a solution containing a positron emitting substance is introduced in the body. The positron collide with electrons and two species annihilate na destroy, and two movement that move in apart in two different directions. That is this is here is another medical application, and what is it? Here is the positron is this one, okay. Positron is introduced the body. The positron collide with electrons. ரெண்டுமே இந்த பக்கம் போகுது, இது இந்த பக்கம் போகுது. So it is the positron collision. It is collision body. Okay, positron and electron collision followed by the creation of the gamma rays photons. So gamma ray is emitted there as a result of that. Gamma ray is emitted as a result of that. Okay. So these photons can be detected used to different radioactive substances in the body. So you can see that these photons can be detected and data can be analyzed by a computer. For example, fluorine 18 containing substance collected in bones so that the nuclide is used in bone scanning. Fluorine 18 வந்து ரெண்டு இடத்துல அப்சார்ப் ஆகுது. ஒன்று வந்து போன்ஸ்ல ஆகுது, ரெண்டாவது டீத்ல. ஆனால் டீத் பற்றி இது எழுதலை, but there is an application. So that the nucleus is used in bone scanning. Glucose molecules are used throughout the body but are especially concentrated in the brain. நிறைய படிக்கும்போது இந்த குளுக்கோஸ் வந்து பிரெயின் நிறைய யூஸ் பண்ணும். Okay, so glucose constructed with carbon 11 can be used to study the brain function. It's a very essential point. Glucose concentrated constructed with carbon 11 can be used to study the brain function. That is what is being said there. Okay, so PET scans reveal which part of the brain use glucose most actively during different activities. That means you have to be given this carbon 11 injection, and then if you use the brain very much, a particular portion of the brain is using very much, that can be imaged very well. Okay, the ability to study dynamic process in the body such as brain activity or blood flow makes the PET scan a valued research and a diagnostic tool. This is also an important part of it. Okay. The nucleates used in PET scans have half-lives that range from about 2 minutes to about 10 minutes. Half-life சொன்னேன் 7.1 into 10 power 10 years எல்லாம் கூட இருந்தது ரொம்ப long இது. But how much we are using? Using 2 minutes. 2 minutes the half ஆயிடணும். அப்பதான் உங்களுக்கு அப்சார்ப் ஆகி டிக் ஆகி தெரியல. 110 minutes. This is the 2 minutes to 110 minutes is the range we are using. Okay, that is what is within measurable distance. To find quickly, incorporate the positron emitters into the substance such as the glucose that will be introduced into the body. So we have seen in this session we have seen the radioactivity half-life period, that is the original amount is getting reduced to half the original value, and then by taking advantage of that we are using this magnetic resonance imaging in which the proton is aligned towards and against, and that method they are using the same thing with the positron and electron, and colliding they are emitting the gamma radiations. Okay, this gamma radiation emitted is measured and using so many technological things. Okay, cobalt 60 is used to find out how much is absorbed there. Cobalt 60, radon 222, and then something is written about the positron emission topography. MRI scanning and PET scanning, these two things you have to remember. That will be very useful to you in the writing in the examinations, and there is the medical applications of those things. I think it's clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can revert to me. Thank you for joining me. See you.